everybody. This is Tanya from Tango Business Coaching, and today is day 24 of our 30-day leadership challenge. And we are now officially in the segment of leading larger teams or even organizations. And today we're going to talk about organizational alignment. So earlier in the leading others segment, we talked about team alignment, and this is similar, except we're talking about the importance of aligning strategies and values and philosophies, ensuring that they're all clearly understood and executed against the overall plan toward the greater good of the organization. And this is across the organization, across business units, all the way from the frontline employee to the CEO of the organization and everybody in between, ensuring that everybody is, rowing the boat toward the common or shared goals of the business. So it's definitely bigger and more broad than your team alignment piece, right? So putting together a strategy like this requires high intentionality on the part of the senior leadership team, extremely thoughtful and transparent communication, and accountability needs to be built in across the business. And it matters because we know that having organizational alignment is actually the most efficient and most productive way to achieve corporate goals. It promotes open two-way communication. It improves overall culture. It improves retention, engagement levels, and all of that, as we know, because I've been talking about this all along, leads to higher customer engagement and improves the bottom line. So really important to actually focus on organizational alignment if you are in a senior leadership position. From an organizational perspective, organizational alignment leads to enhanced collaboration. And that's because every single team is really clear on their role in achieving the strategic direction and the strategic goals of the organization. Decisions are made quicker because, again, there's that role clarity in place where they know where their decision making begins and ends. And there's also a framework in place for which they can follow. It just eliminates indecisiveness. It eliminates confusion. It eliminates, those decisions that get like kicked down the road to another time, because everybody knows where their role is in making a decision and they understand how to make decisions. Roles are optimized in organizations that have really great alignment because, again, there's clarity in place. And we talked about delegation yesterday. Delegation is something that happens regularly and consistently in organizations that are aligned. There's also improved self-governance. And I say this because, again, back to role clarity and decision-making frameworks, like everybody sort of understands how they fit in the bigger picture. And when something goes awry or something goes sideways, it's caught quickly and we can easily course correct, without there being blame and shame and all of this kind of thing. It can be simple misunderstandings, can be caught quickly and everybody gets back into line, quickly, right? So you'll see that in organizations that have really great alignment. So how do you do this? It's a tall order for sure. It doesn't happen overnight. It requires a well thought out and very committed strategy on the part of the senior leadership team who are there to make it work. But here's some ideas, anyways, to get you started on this. The first thing is to make it a commitment. So it's not a one and done strategy. This is something that needs to be embedded into the fabric of your organization, that this just becomes how you do things inside your organization. There's probably a bunch of habits that exist today inside your organization that, seemingly achieve productivity or get to the result you're looking for. Are you prepared to deal with that if it isn't something that supports organizational alignment? I guarantee if you found a different way around it that aligned everybody, you would get to the end result in a better and more efficient way. But sometimes it's hard to see how that's possible. So So consider if you're actually ready to take this on, because a partial strategy won't work. So if you're only trying to do it in part of the organization, but this organization, they're still allowed to behave the way that they always behave, it is not going to work. That's actually going to diminish trust and diminish your engagement levels. So it has to be a full-on commitment, and everybody across the business has to participate. So it really requires a commitment. So that's the first thing. The second idea around this is to build a strategy. So once you get committed, like, yes, we're going to do this, and yes, I believe in this, then it's building a strategy behind it with clear goals, smart goals, right, with clear milestones along the way, and engaging and ensuring that your team of leaders and decision makers and champions of this are really clear on the strategy. You can either lead this yourself, or you can certainly delegate this to somebody else who's a champion of this kind of work. So that would be the second one. The third one is to then be transparent. So once you are fully engaged with the strategy, you know your goals, you know what you want to accomplish over the next, 3, 6, 12 months, then talk about it, right? Be transparent. Say that this is what you're trying to do, and this is the ultimate goal of where you're trying to lead your organization. What are the milestones? And then give progress reports. How are we doing against our milestones? We said we were going to hit X. We only got to Y. Here's the reason why we didn't get all the way there, and here's how we're pivoting. Be honest, be vulnerable, all those things we talked about in those previous videos. Like, this is the time to stand strong behind a strategy, to say what you need to say, to be really clear about the strategy, and to receive feedback about it. So ask, check in yourself. How are things going? What is going to work for you in terms of gaining feedback from your organization? Maybe that's depending on the size, maybe it's one-on-one, maybe it's surveys, whatever it is, like, get the feedback. Okay. The fourth piece is to identify your obstacles early on, and encourage a culture where those obstacles can be flagged, and work to remove them quickly. There's nothing like building trust and getting people behind your strategy than listening to them in terms of what's getting in the way and clearing it quickly. So work to do that. You may not be able to achieve all of your milestones you set out to achieve because you're going to run into roadblocks that maybe you didn't anticipate along the way. Identify them, ensure that you're identifying them as a real obstacle, figure out how to work around that, and then just do it, right? The fifth piece is to celebrate. I think a lot of plans sort of miss this part. So if you achieve a milestone, even if you achieve it on time or not on time, like, if you get there, celebrate, and celebrate in a way that is authentic for your organization, right? So different organizations celebrate wins in different ways. So figure that out for your organization and just do that. Celebrate, communicate, have a party. I don't know, like, give people high fives, like, whatever it is that you do to celebrate, do that. So, and then, the final step in all of this is to keep working the plan and keep iterating, keep building on it, because this is going to be part of what you just do, right? And it requires quite an intentional strategy for some time. And then you'll just notice that it is kind of part of who you are. And, this may take years, right? So as it becomes part of who you are in your organization, you won't necessarily need an intentional strategy around it anymore, because you'll just kind of have rules of engagement and guidelines on how this all works. So that is kind of like 6 steps in a nutshell, but it is a much bigger practice as you implement this. So today's challenge is really for you. My ask for you is to really just think about this. Like, do an honest assessment of where your organization is at in terms of organizational alignment. As a leader, what more could you be doing to ensure that your organization is more aligned? If you're a senior, executive on the sort of like top senior leadership team, you have a voice if you're sitting there. So what will you do to raise this issue in that in that setting. So consider what you might say if you believe that this is a worthwhile strategy. Get your business plan, get your story together. If you are the CEO, guess what? You can make this change right now. You can decide right now that you want to do this for your organization. So my challenge for you is to really think about, what will you do? How will you commit to this? And consider how powerful your voice may be. So that's your challenge for today. Good luck with this one. And as always, check in with me, leave some comments, message me directly, whatever works for you. If you need the 30-day challenge tracker, reach out. Happy to send that over. And I will see you here tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.